Hello, Lenka. I'd like to try out my slides if I could.
Hello. Hi, Eric.
Hello. Are you the?
I'm also speaker. I'm not the organizer though, so I'm not.
Yeah. Hi. This is Lynn Bells. How are you?
Ah, hi, Lynn. Hi. Good to see you.
Good to see
I'm gonna reclaim host. I'm gonna be the host, so I can share my slides. I'm just testing.
Okay. So I know we're going to have someone come in who's going to help us with this. I'm going to reclaim. I think I've got to rename myself. Sorry. Hold on. See what I can do. We'll have someone come in and help us with all of that so that all of you can share your screen. Yep. And so let me
sounds like sync words tech. Denisha sounds like the technical person, maybe.
I think they're there for closed captioning or something.
No, there's a captioner and then there's tech.
Nick from the Globe Implementation Office is going to come in and help us here. And Jen Rougeau is my co-moderator. So I hope we're going to have all the help we need. But thank you. And so
I need help.
Yeah, I know. So do I. But this platform's working really well so far. So anyway, thank you for joining us. You're our first speaker, and I really appreciate it. We're not going to start till about 9 minutes after the hour because our first speaker did not had to cancel, and we have to stay on the schedule that all the speakers are on. So I'm going to make just a few opening remarks, Eric, and then introduce you, and then you'll go from there. So.
Are you guys calling out like, I mean, I guess you haven't had the lightning talks yet. So are you calling out, can you call out like a 1 minute warning or something? Or
yeah, I'll ask Eric to do that, a 1 minute warning when he gets on. Okay,
Eric or Nick?
One of us will do that. And then the way we're going to run the session is after the presentations are over, we're going to go into breakout rooms, one for each of your presentations, so that the participants then can go and have further discussions with each of you on your presentations and hopefully develop more collaboration, new ideas, etc.
Yeah, that's great. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, sounds great.
I realized I was a little dark here, so hopefully.
Yeah, I know. If it were sunny out, it would be a lot brighter. So I tried to put some lights on. You have to adjust, right? So
right here, I have a nice.
And Lenka, I'm glad that you're giving the presentation today. So that's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Lynn. I'm looking forward to sharing what we learned, actually.
Good. Yes, it's great. Also, I should tell you both that, and I will say this again when everybody's there, we do have another open slot after your presentation, Lenka. So we'll get a 10-minute break there before we pick up the rest of the presentations.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right. Which is good. We can go get a cup of coffee and whatever, and then talk about something. Well, maybe Lenka, you don't want to do that because you're later in the day. But for those of us here in the morning, definitely.
Yeah, it's quite different. I think. What is it? 7 o'clock or something like that, right?
Well, for me, I'm on the East Coast, so it's actually closer to 9. So I really, you know. All right. And for Jen, also say.
Where are you, Lenka?
I'm in Prague, Czech Republic, in Europe.
Great.
So yeah.
My wife and I visited Prague last year. Beautiful.
Oh, really?
No, maybe it was before COVID. Time flies, you know, like before COVID.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
And where are you from?
Well, I'm at the Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland. Okay. But I grew up in Venezuela. You know, my dad is French, so it's kind of like a mixed United Nations family we have.
This is something so amazing about the United States, that everyone's coming from different countries
Absolutely.
and backgrounds and so on. So nice.
But yeah, no, I was gonna say I made you know, the globe observer. I made a globe observer measurement in the square, the main square in Prague there, where you know, like when the Pope comes out. Oh no, wait, that's no, wait. That's
No. So it's Rome then. Yeah.
No, Budapest. In Budapest, they have a square where there's like a clock, and then every time, like, there's like a procession of.
Yeah,
So,
no, then it's Prague. Yeah. The
and I
astronomical
made another
clock.
measurement on the bridge, on one of the bridges. It was full of people, but no, it was great.
That's
No,
so nice.
beautiful. And plus, the Czech people are very nice.
Okay, so it's good to hear that you had such a nice experience.
So
Okay.
let me welcome everybody and let everybody know that's here so far. I see Alexandra Stewart. Hi. Yes. And we're still waiting for some other people. So we're actually going to start the session in about 10 minutes. Our first speaker had canceled, and we're going to stay on the schedule that you see in the program. So right now we're just kind of talking with each other, and then about 8 minutes from now, I'll sort of give you an overview of what we're going to do. And then we'll start right at 7:10, or Mountain Time. I have to continue to translate it to Eastern Time. And Nick Barancic, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Nick Barancic. I'm with the GIO, and I'll be helping out with this session.
Good.
I need a lot of help, Nick. I'm just telling you.
Well, I'm here for it.
I will at least.
So Nick, there was a request maybe that we give speakers a 1-minute warning. So if you could do that, that would be very helpful.
Yep. Sure. And Nick, I was just going to ask you a technical question. So I guess I work at NASA. I'm not allowed to have Zoom on my computer. So I joined from the browser. Is that any kind of issue in terms of sharing PowerPoints and all that? Or it's the same process?
I would assume it's the same process. I've never used Zoom via the browser connection, but
okay.
If we have any issues that we can tackle.
Do you mind if I try sharing it? Or I guess I need to reclaim host, right, before I do that?
You should be able to share even without being a host.
Okay. So let me give this a try, and then would like to record this computer screen. Well, did I? Huh. So just give me, and of course I have way too many windows open. Where's my presentation? Microsoft PowerPoint. I don't know if anything shows. Does anything show?
Not yet.
I'm not seeing anything at the moment.
No. So it asked me to record the screen, and I said deny, and I'm afraid I may have screwed things up. Let me leave and come back in. Do you know anything about that, Nick?
Yeah, I believe, Lynn, did you start recording the session already? Because when someone in the Zoom asks to record, it requests everyone.
Okay, no, I haven't, because we're actually not starting the session until about 7:10.
But I have to say that it's being recorded since the
Is it? Okay.
I joined, so.
Okay, it's recording. I can see that too. Thank you, Lenka. And for
Yeah,
everybody
please
who's joined us, we'll be actually starting this session in about 10 minutes. For our first speaker is not here, so we're going to stay with the schedule that you see on the program. With
I'm sharing my PowerPoint. Sorry, Lynn.
No, go ahead.
But I'm sharing it. I don't see anything.
Hmm.
Does anybody see any PowerPoint?
I'm afraid I don't.
No,
All
I
right,
don't.
well, let me leave and then come back in and see. Oh.
And
yeah,
Jen Bourgeot, our co-host, is here, co-moderator. So Jen, if you have any suggestions or help here.
I'm making Jen the host.
Okay.
Wow, thanks, Eric. It must have just given whoever came in first or second the host.
Okay, so you're in charge, Jen.
It looks like it.
Recording.
And for everybody who is not speaking, please go on mute. That would be very helpful, particularly with the echoing.
I'm thinking it must be a setting thing about sharing. So do I say share entire screen or window?
You should just be able to share your application.
Well, but is
So-
that under window? I mean,
So when you say share screen,
I mean, I
should-
go to my PowerPoint and nothing happens, I guess.
Hey, Eric,
Because I'm on the browser.
try the entire screen and then just go to your PowerPoint. That's happened to me a bunch of times before where I just try to share PowerPoint and it doesn't pop up.
So entire screen. Share. I mean, I'm not the host though. And then do I go to my PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Claro, no porque no estás.
You see it now?
No, I don't, we just see you. Strange.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not allowed to have Teams, so, or a Zoom, sorry.
Well, I see
mean,
in the I see in the shares. Are we allowed? Can we change the? Oh, I see. Oh, it says all participants, so I'm not sure why everybody can't share. Why you
I
can't
need
share.
to go into my preferences and allow Zoom, I think.
And while we're doing this, just for everybody who's joined us, we're going to start at about 9 minutes after, because our first speaker had to cancel, and so we're going to stick with the schedule that's on your agenda. So we're just working out some technical items right now.
And also, if you could change your name from whatever the given name is when you first log in.
Yeah, well, I logged out and logged back in, so I think I need to change my preferences in. I still have 5 minutes. I will do the
So-
change.
Eric, is it a PowerPoint? Is it
Yes.
somewhere where you could share it with me and then I could
Well,
drive your slides?
the problem was that the screen recording, almost there. Zoom doesn't show up. Google Chrome.
Feel free to put your name and where you're from in the chat. And then, and also, as I believe, Nick, you had said this before, but we have a couple co-hosts that are labeled host 500. And so just so you know, what happens is if you are a speaker for the presentation, you come in and you're labeled as a co-host, and it takes away your name at that point and labels you that. So if you go over to, if you hover over that, it'll say who you are. It'll say me. And if you go to hover over it and there's a little more button, and then you can rename yourself.
Hey, Eric, if you're still in here, one other thing that I've noticed happen is that if your Chrome isn't the latest version, which you can fix by just going up to where it says Chrome and then hit the About Chrome and it'll look for the update. Because I've had it during meetings where Zoom wouldn't show my desktop or presentation because it wasn't the latest Chrome. It's an odd thing, but.
And then if that doesn't work, if you just send your presentation to Jen via email, she said that she would put it up for you and drive it for you. Is Eric on? Eric, are you on? I think he went off and is coming back on. Ah, Eric, we see it. So let me say a few words here so we can get started. Eric, we do see your presentation. So
We can't hear you. Here.
Eric, can you hear us?
It says you're unmuted, but we can't hear you.
Okay, I want to welcome everyone here to this special session, collaboration within the Globe community. Collaboration is an important component of the program and enhances the scope and robustness of the program and the experience and knowledge of Globe community members. This session will highlight key elements of successful collaboration activities undertaken by members of the Globe community and identify specific activities underpinning success. The sessions will cover things such as the type of collaboration, what's the motivation and reason for the collaboration, how is it supported, how does it align with the Globe strategic plan, and highlight successes, barriers experienced, lessons learned, and what the future looks like. Following the presentations, we're going to go into breakout rooms for discussions on each of these topics with the goal of hopefully further developing the current collaboration or developing additional collaboration activities. So we're looking forward to that. Jen Bourgeot is the co-lead on the session, and she will give us more details following the presentations. So with that, I want to see if Eric, can you hear us? And are you prepared to start your presentation?
Yes, I am. Hopefully you see I'm sharing my presentation. Hopefully it worked this time.
Yes, we see it and we see you and we hear you.
Success.
Okay.
I like when things work out.
Yes. Okay. Would you like to proceed?
Yes, please. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lynn, and thanks everyone for joining. I'm very excited to be here on the second day. Hopefully the second day will be even better than the first day. So my name is Eric Brown de Colston. I'm a scientist at the Biospheric Sciences Lab at NASA Goddard Space Flight Center. And so I study urbanization and land cover land use change. And today I'm talking to you about a project I've been doing that's been funded under the NASA Climate Change Research Initiative, or CCRI. And so it's an interesting, can you mute your mics, please? So it's a nice, interesting collaboration. The way it's set up, we have a teacher, Sherry Richardson from McKinley Tech High School in DC Public Schools, and Amelia Green, who's a grad student at Georgetown University. And more recently, we have Isabella Skornajenki, who's a recent graduate of Texas A&M. And then we have 2 rising seniors from public schools in the region. So Ranu Baylor is at Eleanor Roosevelt High School. And then Patrick Ashton is one of Sherry's students. So the reason, one of the things to talk about today is kind of the evolution of land cover science. Russ Congleton, when he developed the land cover protocols back in the 90s, and he's kind of the godfather of that. He was, right now we are kind of in a different paradigm, and so that's one of the things we're producing global 30-meter data from Landsat, which was never probably envisioned at that point. Can we get people to mute their mics, please? So just to give you a kind of the state of the science today. So since 2008, Landsat data have been available for free, and that's opened up a whole bunch of applications. So the data are free to anyone, any country, any government, anyone who wants to use it. The second point is, so the land cover community is moving then to these continental and global 30-meter land cover data sets. I developed the first Landsat urbanization data set, is percent man-made impervious cover, which we're trying to validate with GLOBE. Third point is I've been working in land cover land use for 30-some years. I don't know that anyone has used the muck classification scheme. It's a great scheme. It's got a lot of information, land use information, but it needs to be crosswalked to another classification scheme. So the approaches that we're using these days they're called continuous fields as opposed to land cover, and the idea is to derive the percentage of different components like forest cover or man-made impervious. And so this allows for better characterization. I mean, if you think about tree cover in a savanna or woodland, there's gradations of tree cover. Same thing with urban areas.
Eric,
So
are you advancing your charts?
I'm sorry?
Are you advancing your charts? Or are you still, we're still on?
No, I'm still on that one.
Okay,
But thanks for
okay.
the
Thank you.
So the globe biometry protocol actually acquired the percent canopy and ground cover, but the data were never retained in the global database. And these data would be really valuable to validate continuous fields data. So with the mobile phone app, the Globe Observer, there's a lot of good opportunities to do this. So this is the data set for Washington, D.C., the one that I derived. And what you see is you see a lot of the detail in the neighborhoods. You get a lot better images of, or better detail of sprawl. And so for here, every pixel has a value from 0 to 100. It's not a land cover class.
Eric, we're still seeing your very first slide.
Oh, God.
There we go.
Well, I mean, so hang on a second. I mean, I had it on full screen. I had it on full screen presenter view, and all right, so maybe let's just go with this one then. So the idea, what I've always wanted to do, so this is a global urbanization data set from Landsat, and I always had the intent or the desire to have globe schools all over the world validated. So the problem is, so which sampling approach is best to do this in a heterogeneous landscape like urban areas? So, the dotted area that you see in the middle is a Landsat pixel that's 30 meters on the side. So the globe land cover or biometry protocol has people pacing the red lines, the red diagonals, and making measurements. The Globe Observer app makes, photos in the cardinal directions. So there's a little bit of a disconnect there. The other part is, we are interested in finding out, how many paces might you need if you're trying to do this for citizen science and students. How many paces would you need to get a good value? So we did, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. We simulated 1,000 humans based on probability distributions of height for men and women in the world. And we determined, that the average pace length for these 1,000 humans was 1.44 meters. which means then that it takes about 30 paces plus or minus 2 to do a diagonal, 21 to do, so 60 for 2 diagonals, 42 for 2 north, south, east, west. So we, simulated some pixels. So what you see here is, like different kinds of pixels that we selected. And so we overlaid a 1 meter grid on this and sampled it using different methods. We've also been doing some field work out in the field at Goddard and working with the schools. So these are the results. What you see on the left panel is, all methods work pretty well. But what you see on the left panel is the middle values where it's most heterogeneous. You're starting to blow up some of the results. So if your transect is right on the road, you could way overestimate or underestimate your values. On the right panel is a random sampling approach that we use, very simple, with only 15 points. So with 1/4 of the points that we use for either diagonal or cross sampling, we're getting much better results. So in terms of the recommendations, and I realize this is a community meeting, the first 2 things, or I guess the points, is this scientist and teacher partnership that we've developed, and the model that Matthew Pierce from the Office of STEM Engagement developed is a really, really great way. I'm really grateful to be able to be part of this program. And so the science-teacher partnership is really beneficial not only for education, but for science. In the first one, I just made the point that having a scientist lead or mentor, in my opinion, provides a deeper connection to the science. Very respectfully, I think we're a lot more than just a subject matter expert. So in terms of the community level and the structure, so interns and students at various levels of experience really reinforces the team building and the communication. From my perspective, it's been great having all these different levels of communication. So in terms of the land cover protocol, please can globe capture the % canopy and % ground cover data in your biometry protocol. So you just need a couple lines of code to add these data. These data would be directly usable for validation of our global 30-meter data sets. So please. So in terms of modernizing the biometry protocol, I've talked about the new science. Maybe there's a way to think about a land cover change protocol perhaps in the future. The last point is trying to integrate Globe Observer with the land cover site and biometry protocols. After all, the first thing you do when you do your land cover site is you take pictures in the cardinal directions. So now we have a mobile phone app that can do that. And then the final is, I think it would be good to try to see if we can include some sort of random sampling scheme when you're doing applications in heterogeneous environments. So whether it's in a city or maybe different woodlands, savanna, where you have pretty heterogeneous environment. So thank you very much. As probably many of you know, the NASA Global Observer Land Cover Challenge is happening from today to August 26th. It's actually my wife's birthday today, so we're celebrating. I don't know if we're going to make out measurements out there, but we'd love to collaborate with any schools out there that would be interested. We're developing and working on the methodology to be able to do a better job at validating our data sets. And so wherever you are in the world, please grab my email or join the breakout session. But thank you very much, and I hope you have a great end to your meeting. I think I went beyond 7 minutes, so.
Well,
Thank
Eric,
you.
thank you very much, Eric. Because we do have some time after Lanka, that's okay because you had all the technical difficulties. So appreciate the great presentation.
Thank you.
And everyone who is on the line. When we're done with all the presentations, we're going to go into breakout rooms to discuss each of these presentations. So you'll have time to ask questions and discuss these ideas further. Okay, so with that, I want to introduce Lenka Klager. She's from the Europe and Eurasia Regional Coordination Office, and she's going to give a talk on student observe trees over season and collaborate in the European Phenology campaign. So Lenka?
Thank you, Lynn. I'll try to share my screen. Well, I hope you can see it, see the slide.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I'm very happy to be part of this great meeting and for the opportunity to talk to you about our experience from the European Phenology campaign. Yeah, I hope you see slide number 2. Sometimes it's not working well.
Looks good.
Yep, perfect. Well, the campaign has been now running for over 6 years, and it has always 2 parts each year. So students observe seasonal changes of trees, greening up of trees in spring and greening down of trees in autumn. We do have about 22 countries that are active in the campaign, and these come mainly from Europe and Eurasia region. Also, each part of the campaign has about 150 to 200 school teams involved, which means about 3,000 active students participating. The campaign is organized by a Regional Coordination Office for Europe and Eurasia. And our aim, why we started the campaign, was that we wanted to bring the topic of phenology to schools, to increase school involvement, and of course, the cooperation in our region. And so the cooperation is very important for the campaign. And core of the cooperation is cooperation between schools. Schools in the campaign, they have different possibilities how to interact, how to work together. The main one is online forum, which is available at the Gov website, and schools use it to share their pictures, their results, and get in touch or inspire each other. We also organize regular webinars and meetings with different aims, either to bring some new information, some knowledge to school, or to allow sharing, to bring the community together and talk together. We also do have Padlet, where schools contribute with their examples of good practice. So I will later share with you the link so you can see these examples on your own. So on top of these possibilities, there is also a collaboration group, which provides the opportunity to cooperate more closely. Schools that join the group will work together in a smaller group of 2, 3, or 4 school teams. And we as campaign coordinators help them to get together, to form the group, exchange contacts, and then it's up to schools how they will cooperate. So they can just exchange data regularly, they can meet on Zoom or other online platform, or they can plan some research project together, or even a meeting in person. So schools also cooperate with broader globe community, either by contributing to IVSS or by joining different international meetings. You will also, on this Thursday, I would like to invite you to join the phenology session, where you will hear 2 schools speaking about their experience. And also many schools share their results with public. So they do some presentation of results, or even some awareness campaigns or projects using their data. We are very happy for a great collaboration with scientists. We do have a great team of scientists that support the campaign, and I believe this is essential for the campaign, for developing the activities and just motivating all the participating schools. So what we learned during the 6 years of running the campaign, we are very happy that we can see some positive impact over these 6 years. So the number of participating schools increased, as well as the number of data that are being entered into the Globe database. And both these numbers are still quite high. So this is something that really pleases us. And maybe more importantly, we can see that the community in our region is really getting more international. So it's becoming more common for schools to share in the international environment, to work with schools from other countries. And not only that, but teachers also develop their collaboration further. They build on the phenology topic and then just come with their own topics, with their own activities and new collaborations. Although Europe is very diverse with the cultures and countries, so the campaign is a good starting point for a cultural exchange in the region. I have here for you a small example. Is a poster that was created by a student from Malta within a collaboration of schools in Malta and in Israel. So he painted this tree and he described it in Maltese, in English, and in Hebrew. So we also have a language exchange going on. What we think is important for the campaign. First, the campaign activities are very easily accessible, so anyone can join. Different age of students can participate in the campaign. Also, phenology is not demanding when it comes to equipment, so no expensive tools are needed. Also, schools can choose the level of collaboration according to their capacities and possibilities. So this is not demanding either. Well, the campaign is built on a Globe Phenology protocol, but we divided the protocol into the short activities. So schools are guided through the campaign, like step by step. They continuously receive from us information, newsletters or emails with the activities, with some invitations to webinars and so on. Schools that are active in the campaign are awarded by certificates that are always sent after each run of the campaign, and they also receive these virtual badges that you can see here, some examples. What we think is crucial for the campaign is the role of country coordinators, because the country coordinators are the people who know their country the best. They can talk to schools, they can motivate the schools. So we are very, very happy to have such a great team of country coordinators who are open to support the campaign. Of course, we do face some challenges. One of them is a language barrier, because Europe is very rich when it comes to languages. The campaign has English as a common language, but of course, this is not convenient to everyone. Also,
1 minute, Lenka.
Yeah, I'm about to add. There are different levels of experience of schools that someone has been joining for these 6 years. Someone is very new, so it's a bit difficult to find a balance of information that are interesting to everyone. And last, it takes time to coordinate the campaign and to spread the information about the activities and the possibility to join. So, but we will keep doing that, and hopefully with a success. So thank you very much for your attention. Here's my contact, and I will be happy to discuss more at the breakout room. Thank you.
Lenka, thank you very much. I do think we have like 1 minute for question. I know Eric wants to ask a question, and he's going to be in another breakout room. So Eric.
You didn't purchase the data plan when you were waiting.
I'm sorry?
So
Somebody
Eric,
was.
Yeah, go ahead,
No,
Eric.
somebody was speaking up. I thought I can hear. Yeah. Thank you, Lenka. My question was, I mean, one of the things that we're seeing in terms of climate change related to phenology is that, you know, the urban heat island can actually change the phenology patterns of vegetation within a city or and around. And so, have you guys thought about doing anything like that? Like, I don't know if you would, you know, so you do it in an urban setting and maybe right outside the city, for example, or?
Well, when it comes to urban heat island, we try to bring this topic into the campaign or actually this spring, so to inform schools about this and about importance of trees. And we are aware of the fact that the patterns are changing. What we want schools to do is to use the data that they have, so they can look back at the data. Many schools have been observing their tree for years and years, so they can look back and see if there's any change, or they even compare the data with other schools. So things like that. Yeah, we are trying to bring it in, and of course the topic of climate change as such.
Thank you. Great job. It's very interesting.
Thank you.
So we now have a break. Lenka will be heading a breakout room after the end of the presentations. So I see there are a lot of questions in the chat room for you, Lenka. So you can take a look at those, and invite you to excuse me, please go on mute if you're not speaking. So we do have a break until 9:40. And then we will pick it up with the next speaker.
And if you want something to do, you can go check out the Padlet. I put the link in the chat. And there's also a link to the captioning in case anybody was looking for that this morning or this evening or whatever time period you are in. So I did put that chat link in for captioning and also the Padlet. So that's what we'll be using in the discussion portion of today.
So what are you kind of looking for the Padlet in terms of input? Just thoughts or ideas, collaborations, all the above?
There are, yeah, so in the Padlet, there are basically some different discussion questions. So if you take a look at that, it's got who is here, so who joins that particular breakout room, inspiring ideas and resources that you found from that particular session. And then also thinking about collaboration moving forward, your next steps, the community next steps, and what information or supports are missing in order to expand this collaboration. So that's where you can kind of start a discussion. Those are just the starting points of where you could go. But obviously you can add more comments than that too. So.
Yeah, sorry, I have to go plug in my computer before it dies. And the recordings for all the previous sessions and everything, is they made available that night or something, or?
Yes, from what I understand, they were up almost instantaneously. Is that correct, Nick? Wasn't it really quick? We were surprised at how quickly.
Yeah, sometimes it might take maybe about an hour to compile everything, but it's been faster than we've been expecting. So.
So who is going to send us to the breakout rooms?
Well, we're not doing that until after the end of the presentations, and then Jenna's going to explain the process.
Thank you.
And Lenka, you
and right now,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Lynn. We don't want to start before the time because we are working in sync with the other room. So there may be people that are expecting to come to the next session. So we don't want to start early. So we are kind of sitting here for 5 more minutes before we can start the next person's presentation for that reason. We're not trying to, so if you want to go get coffee or tea or water or whatever you need to do for 5 minutes, we will be starting back at 40 minutes after the hour, just so that we make sure we don't miss anybody coming from another session into this one.
Okay, so we will be back online in about 5 minutes.
Lynn, Jen, you have the right to mute anyone you want as a host. So if someone accidentally forgot to mute himself or herself, you can do it.
Thank you, Larissa. We're going to start in just a little bit. I just want to remind everybody to mute if you're not speaking. And Nick will be letting you know when you have about a minute left. So we can stay on schedule here. Okay, so let me. Hello? Yes, so I'd like to introduce our next speakers. It's called Globe Healthcare Microplastics Monitoring Campaign, Challenges and Results. And we have Alexandria Suti. So if you could begin your presentation, please.
Oh yeah, thank you, Lynn. I'm Sandro Suti, the Globe Italy Country Coordinator, together with Lorella Rigonat. And last year we introduced the Microplastics Monitoring Protocol trial. And this year we want to introduce the achievement. Alessandra and Stuart from Deakin University will talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandro. Hello, everybody. I'm Alessandra, a materials scientist.
And my name is Stuart. I'm also from Deakin Uni and I'm an engineer.
Talking to you today about microplastics. Microplastics are a recognized pollutant. They're small plastic pieces and textile fibers of size between 1 micron and 5 millimeters.
We've been able to determine through existing literature, but increasingly through the trials of this protocol, that these now inhabit the pedosphere, the biosphere, the atmosphere, and the hydrosphere.
They're basically everywhere, unfortunately.
The question that might arise is, why are microplastics a problem? And there's many. Some of them are that they carry alien species and chemicals around the planet from their point of origin and into every other part of the planet. They can be mistaken for food by a variety of animals, and as a result, they can enter the food chain at many different levels. But most simply put, microplastics just don't belong here. And what we have done to try to increase awareness and also begin to address this challenge is to develop and then test a draft protocol with a broadening number of participants. Our priorities were to make something that was accessible to schools and yet scientifically rigorous. And as a result, we began to train country coordinators, deputy country coordinators, and quite a number of teachers. We undertook a trial. We've collected data from many countries, many schools and students and their communities, and we've begun to refine the protocol, the processes and procedures.
And the thing is that when we get a lot of people to work on the same draft protocol, improvements abound. What we have found is that lots of teachers and students have come up with really creative solutions that have made the protocol better and the job of evaluating and validating the data a lot easier. For instance, they've introduced photo links into their data sheets such that we can actually have a look at the same photos they're looking at under the microscope and validate their observations.
We've also been able to develop a microplastics recognition guide and developed an increasingly broad awareness of the need for both laboratory and field blanks as part of the protocol.
Also, working with students and teachers, we have discovered that the simplest items in the house can help with training of the eyes, because this protocol is based on microscopic evaluation and microscopic identification of objects. So having control samples of known composition, such as the water coming out of a washing machine, can really help train the eye.
So far, we would estimate that this protocol has reached over 340 teachers and in excess of 7,000 students across at least 16 countries. We've undertaken quite a number of training webinars and also direct meetings with schools and their students, a variety of conferences, and there's been awards given to many of the participants through the work that they've done. There's also been quite a lot of product developed, videos, excursions, number of lab activities, reports, posters, conference submissions, and we have forecast that there's been so far quite a number of community members involved simply by undertaking this out in the public eye. One of the great advantages of this protocol is that it has been able to introduce people to science at a variety of levels, but in a way that's interesting and engaging to them. We've been able to look at protocols for basic science, observation, as well as filtering, and then also the reporting of the work that the students and their teachers have been able to undertake.
And this has been great, and some of it has been planned by the teachers, the students, and the team. However, many things and initiatives came from the students themselves. Students have found themselves organizing conferences to communicate this sort of data, which is completely new to their communities, families, and environmental protection agencies. Also, they have organized their own seminars into their schools, inviting experts from their local universities or communities, which has been a great networking approach.
One of the fantastic networks that's been developed is between a student and a group of speleologists who explore caves in the local community, and as a result have allowed that school to filter water in areas that we had not thought would be possible, and yet that's also helped attract great local media attention to this subject.
Going to where we didn't think was possible has been one of the key achievements of the project, but also a challenge for the teachers, which could not hold back their students.
What needs to be pointed out is that this protocol has been tested and refined during the challenges of COVID across a broad variety of nations, and this has been seen as an opportunity to bring students out of the laboratory into the environment so that they can, in small or medium groups, undertake scientific field work together despite the COVID challenge.
What we thought, a year and a half or 2 years would be sufficient to test the protocol, little did we know that more people would come on board. And thanks to the U.S. Department of State mission to India, we are now able to achieve Indian students by the 1,000 through TERI collaboration.
But what about the data? That's one of the things that we're here for. We have received and viewed quite a number of data sheets, and we've found that most common items are blue or pink textile cellulose fibres, and this is consistent with existing literature from other samples. We've found that blanks are really important. We also look for volunteers for the coming academic year. And you can see in the information here what sort of challenge microplastics present for us and for the planet based on the analyses so far.
And for one sample in Mantala, unfortunately, which is my hometown, we found an excessive amount of microplastics in the water.
We'd like to thank the driving force of this innovation, our teachers who've encouraged their students with great passion, and also the various Globe teams, the Europe and Eurasia team, Dana, Bar and Lenka, who've been really great supporters of this, the GIO, of course, who've been champions behind it, and also increasingly the Asia Pacific RCO.
What's next? A lot more work with TERI to collect new data in India, work with collaborators in the US in particular to try and bring this protocol to a shape such that we can then submit it to Globe for consideration as an official protocol. But the real question today for you is the following.
what are you going to do? So we encourage you to make contact if you find this brief interesting or of a challenge, something you'd like to participate in. Please make contact by this email address and we'd be happy to correspond with you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I thought I clicked off mute, but I didn't. Thank you very much for your presentation. I think we do have about a minute for a couple of questions before we go to the next speaker. So are there any questions?
I had put a question in the chat. When you mentioned about your hometown, the microplastics were in the drinking water or in a water body or in the oceans, or?
In this case, one of the lakes around Mantova. This is a lake enjoyed by everyone, not for bathing, but used to be a water source for my father, even, I think, for bathing back in the 60s.
Oh, great, very great. No, because I mentioned, I thought, you know, the issue with microplastics is, you know, in the oceans as well. And there's really nothing, as far as I know, in Globe that deals with the oceans. And so do you also take samples at the beach, or?
We've started this as a sampling of the surface waters, and it doesn't matter whether it's inland lakes, mountain lakes, or the ocean. Something that is, what we hope to do is attract attention from the local community by encouraging schools to go out to an important water body. So it might be a local lake or reservoir that they draw water from or that they swim in, etc., or something which is very pretty. And so we've encouraged people to choose themselves a body of water that's important to their local community to maximise the public acceptance and embracing of outcomes.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We do have to move to the next speaker. Again, there'll be a breakout room for this topic, so I encourage you to go there. All right, thank you very much. Our next speaker is Elena Sparrow, who's going to talk about Spotlight on Globe Alumni.
Okay, I just need to put my, here we go. Oops. I'm sorry. I need to share my screen. Good morning, everyone. Why am
Morning,
I not? Yeah, just having a hard time trying to, okay, share screen. And
there you go. I see it.
Yes, okay, thank you.
It's not in presentation mode, if you want to put
There we
it
go.
in. Okay, you got it.
So, yeah, thank you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Elena Sparrow from the International Arts Research Center. And I am in Alaska, Fairbanks, Alaska, on the traditional and unceded lands of the homelands of the Tanana Dene people. And it is with gratitude for their past and current relationship and care of the land that I am here. And I'm committed to building long-term reciprocal partnerships with Indigenous individuals and organizations in support of their sovereignty and self-determination. So I wanted to talk about Globe Alumni. It's nothing, it's not new, but I just want us to always remember that our youth are our future and our present. And the Globe Alumni students who are our students who have graduated from secondary school or university and still have the desire and commitment to continue participating in Globe activities at a higher level. And they have the dedication to volunteer their services to a Globe teacher or Globe school or to a Globe partnership or to a Globe program. project. For example, in 2006, we started a relationship with Globe Alumni with the Seasons and Biomes project. And they came to Alaska in the middle of winter. It was 25 degrees below zero. This is in Fahrenheit, and with people coming from all over the world, it was really good to also have them collaborate with us to share our work with Globe schools all over the world. And I'd like to acknowledge Sheila Yule, who was our Globe team member on that project. And we had a funded project funded by NSF, and it was the main supporters and mentors were Dr. Pornpun Watayangkun in Thailand, Dana Potapkova in Czech Republic, Carl Hetland from Norway, Mark Brittany, South Africa, and Tony Murphy and Jen Bourgeot. And then our Globe alumni, Matt, Sheikha, Mohammed, Tomas, Ern, and Bara. And so, and then we continued our work through the Globe Learning Expedition in New Delhi. And so we did a survey of the students, the partners, and the teachers as well. And so the question was, when conducting Globe teacher training, how likely would you use the assistance of a former Globe student? This is for partners. It was the total for very likely was 47, and with the somewhat likely, so a total of 70% of partners wanted, would likely use the assistance. And then how in sharing, asking them if they would have a Globe student as a research mentor to in their partnership, they thought that it was really valuable. 94% thought about, and also the value to teachers when they were asked whether they would consider Globe students as mentors. And at least 50% said very valuable, and then the other 50% said somewhat valuable. So, and for students, they were asked about if you would choose your research partners, would you like it to be? And 55%, well, after all, Globe is a worldwide program, and so students said, worldwide collaborators, and then at least 25% said that they would like to have a mentor, former Globe student. And so we met up again in Ireland, and Matt Fensel and Tomas came out, and his wife. And then there's Lara Atlin and Ilias and Bara, and this wonderful girl, alumni, and she's an adult, and she continues to be active in Globe. And then I just want to highlight Watchery, Dr. Watchery Ruwerin. She came as part of the Globe alumni to join our Seasons and Biomes, and decided to come here to Alaska for her PhD. And she's now currently a faculty member in the Science and Technology at Suratani Rajabat University in Thailand. She's also a Globe trainer and a member of the Globe International STEM Network. And that shows her different, she's been training not only teachers, but also working with students. And in her, in Thailand, at her university, she's using Globe as a means of um, evaluating the science that's being done. So that's Globe is contributing, and she is contributing to the Globe endeavor. And then just a catch up on the other Globe alumni that I've worked with, Sheikha Bouali. She is the executive officer. Oops. Let's see. Chief academic officer at a Pennsylvania virtual charter school. And Ilyas Destin Lomani is in Globe Benin. Bara is at the Globe Europe regional office, and Matt Fensel is a process engineer. Tomas is a lawyer, and Laura is a Globe Estonia country coordinator. I'm so proud of them. They're doing such great work long after they become Globe. Okay, I can't seem to. Oops. I'm trying to change my slide, but it's not. Well, maybe I'll just. It was on the last slide. So my current project is the impacts and feedbacks of a warming Arctic, engaging learners in STEM using NASA and Globe, and then our current funding. And so I just want us to remember our youth, and they, like my teachers here in Alaska say, it's never too early to be involved in Globe, and it's never too late to be involved in Globe. And the Globe alumni really play an important part. And I just want to bring, put the spotlight on them and ask, what are the activities and how are we supporting their work with us? Thank you.
Elena, thank you very much. And I believe we do have a networking session of the alumni at some point during the week to encourage them and also to give them an opportunity to talk to the students that will be here this week as well. So thank you for your efforts on this. It's very important.
Thank you.
So Elena, all those people that you showed were people that you trained?
No, they were trained by somebody else, but I mean, they grew up in the Globe program, but then as adults and as mentors, they did work with me. Yes. In the Seasons and Biomes, it was a 6-year project. And they actually hosted and facilitated what they call the Globe Pals. They put schools together. They initiated partnerships and projects between here in Alaska, in the Arctic, and in other countries from Africa to South America.
No, I was going to say it's a good example of having the right mentor.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, we have to move on, but we will have the breakout room where we can talk further about this. So our next speaker is Ana Beatrix Prieto. She's going to talk about citizen science applied to education in Latin America. So Ana.
Hi, good evening, good morning, good afternoon for any audience. I need a share for a video, but I can film the video. I need a connecting you, maybe.
Nick, can you help here?
I need put a video.
Trying to share a video?
Yes.
Are you trying to share it on your screen, or are you trying to share it in a chat?
Yes, yes, yes. No problem. My presentation is in Spanish for the Spanish speaker in Latin America, but have a subtitle in English.
Hola, les voy a presentar un evento colaborativo, el primer Congreso Latinoamericano de Ciencia Ciudadana aplicada a la educación. El Congreso fue organizado por 4 universidades de 3 países y Globe Latinoamérica. De Argentina, la Universidad Nacional de La Rioja y la Universidad Nacional del Comahue. De Chile, la Universidad de las Américas y de Perú, la Universidad Nacional Agraria La Molina. También contamos con la colaboración de GIO-NASA y de los coordinadores nacionales de Argentina, Chile y Perú. Fue una colaboración regional. El objetivo fue difundir los recursos y herramientas del programa GLOBE, como protocolos de medición a campo, mediciones con dispositivos móviles, uso de imágenes satelitales, trabajo en red entre científicos, profesores y estudiantes, la aplicación Globe Observer y la contribución a la educación STEM en escuelas y universidades. El congreso fue virtual. Se realizó durante la pandemia con costos muy bajos. Fue financiado con los recursos de un LAR, facilitando la infraestructura para las reuniones virtuales, la transmisión por redes, registros, etc. También hubo trabajo voluntario de traductores, moderadores y en la transmisión en vivo. Las otras universidades y Globe Latinoamérica colaboraron con la difusión, aportaron disertantes y proyectos de ciencia ciudadana. GIO-NASA colaboró con disertantes y los coordinadores de Globe Argentina, Chile y Perú colaboraron con la difusión. Algunos profesores de Globe de la región presentaron trabajos realizados con sus estudiantes. El evento contribuyó al cumplimiento de varios de los objetivos estratégicos del programa GLOBE. Eje 1, por ejemplo, materiales y recursos, se presentaron los temas del programa, los recursos en la web y la aplicación Globe Observer. Eje 4, impacto educativo de GLOBE. Se presentaron trabajos explicando cómo se utiliza GLOBE en el aula, la realización de investigaciones y los resultados obtenidos con los estudiantes. Eje 1, aumentar la colaboración de científicos y profesionales STEM. Se presentaron científicos de GLOBE y se difundió el formulario invitando a los científicos de la región a unirse a GLOBE. CG2, incrementar las interacciones y colaboraciones en GLOBE. En las presentaciones del Congreso se mostraron diferentes formas de colaboración entre países. El Congreso se realizó en forma colaborativa entre países e instituciones. También se mostraron los trabajos de investigación colaborativa realizada en GLOBE entre diferentes países. Si quieren consultar, están disponibles las actas del Congreso en el link. CG3, aumentar la representación geográfica. En el Congreso participaron docentes de varios países de Latinoamérica. Las principales conferencias fueron retransmitidas en Chile desde la Universidad de las Américas. CMG3, incrementar la promoción de GLOBE a nuevas audiencias. La mayoría de los participantes conocieron el programa GLOBE en este evento. Éxitos. El trabajo colaborativo entre las diferentes instituciones y el programa GLOBE fue exitoso y muy productivo. El Congreso tuvo una amplia repercusión. Participaron docentes de 12 países de América Latina. Las conferencias principales transmitidas en vivo en YouTube obtuvieron más de 1000 vistas. Barreras. Una de las principales barreras en la región es el idioma. Pocos docentes hablan y leen inglés o usan traductores en línea. La mayor parte del sitio web del programa GLOBE está en inglés y algunas aplicaciones de Globe Observer también están en inglés. Lecciones aprendidas. El evento permitió aprovechar el potencial de las herramientas TIC para trabajar virtualmente y aumentar las interacciones entre miembros de la comunidad GLOBE, instituciones y países. Ofreció la posibilidad de trabajo colaborativo, enriqueció los conocimientos y habilidades de los participantes, contribuyó a mejorar la calidad de la educación. Nuestros planes a futuro incluyen colaborar con otros países para realizar este mismo congreso u otro evento que permita la interacción entre los miembros de la comunidad GLOBE y las instituciones de la región y apoyar la educación STEM en la región. Muchas gracias. Aquí tienen la información de contacto. Espero sus preguntas.
Anna, thank you. Are you going to say a few more words?
Thank you very much. The event is very important for the Latin America region. It contribute to disseminate the global program, our other audiences, our other teachers now.
Anna, thank you very much. I think we have about a minute if anybody wants to ask a question now.
Thanks all.
Okay, and we will have the breakout room after the conclusion of the presentations.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. So our next and last presentation is Brian Campbell, who's going to talk about the Spring Tree Height and Land Cover Collaborative IOP. Thank you,
All
Brian.
right. Thank you. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Still good on your end?
Yes, we can see it, Brian.
All right, perfect. So yeah, thank you, Lynn, for that. This is reflections of the 2022 Spring Tree Height and Land Cover Collaborative Intensive Observation Period. This is a joint lightning talk between Ella from Globe Poland and UNEP Grid Warsaw Center and me. And I'm the lead for the Trees Around the Globe Student Research Campaign, which hosted this 2022 Spring IOP. Ella can't be here, but after my couple slides here and my talk, I'm going to play Ella's video that she prepared for this. She is out of the area in Poland. She's in the northern part of Poland, so she couldn't be at the meeting this week. So with this Tree Height and Land Cover IOP, this went from 22 April through 22 May. So it went from Earth Day to International Biodiversity Day, a perfect time frame to do this. And this is part of year 4 of the Trees Around the Globe Student Research Campaign. And pre-pandemic, we did quarterly intensive observation periods where we alternated between tree height and land cover. And we got some great numbers during that. But then, you know, during the pandemic, we couldn't really have these IOPs because we didn't want to tell people you need to go outside during this time frame and collect this data. But we revisited this past spring, and we had some great results. But the reason why Ella and I are, tag teaming with this is that we had a great group of collaborators with this IOP. As you know, it's led by the Trees Around the Globe Student Research Campaign, but our collaborators were the United Nations Environment Program, which is also celebrating 50 years like the Landsat program. Globe Poland, which is coordinated by Ella and her team at UNEP and GRID, the Global Resource Information Database in Warsaw. And also, you just heard from Lenka with the Globe European Phenology Campaign. They have been a great collaborator with our campaign through the duration. And then Kevin Chikowski and the Urban Heat Island Effect, the Surface Temperature Intensive Observation Period, which was formerly known as the Field Campaign, the Surface Temperature Field Campaign. But with this IOP, our focus was to, since trees are land cover, we really try to focus on when someone's out taking a tree height observation, also take a land cover and vice versa, because since trees are land cover, we want to get as much information in a particular, area as possible. So for this basically 1 month thing, this IOP, we created a kickoff webinar where we had folks from these collaborators presenting, and you can see on the bottom here, we had participants from many, many globe countries. During this IOP, we had 2,564 observations from 983 locations in 26 globe countries. That's a great number. We would have liked to see more, but that was great because it's actually the first combined IOP we did with the collaborators. And also we had 405 land cover observations from 215 locations in 16 globe countries. So, and what you're seeing on the bottom here is just some digital badges that the participants, that was sent out that they can put on their personal globe page. But we got a great jump in numbers for this, which helps out the Globe Observer. It it helped us understand, some of the data that might come in for this, the current, which starting today, I have on my last slide, the land cover challenge that's just started today. But I'm going to pass it over to Ella's video in a second. So I wanted to showcase that, the Grid Warsaw Center and UNEP out of Warsaw really, brought this to the folks in Poland. So you can see here, during this IOP, we had 323 tree height observations from 174 sites in Poland. And here's just some example of some of the ones that I grabbed from the database from different locations in Poland. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play this video from Ella talking about the collaboration and why, the Grid Warsaw Center and UNEP was part of this, and how they're working to, keep this going.
Hello everyone, my name is Ela Wołoszyńska and I represent UNEP Grid Warsaw Center. We are the coordinator of GLOBE program in Poland, and we also support implementation of UNEP mission in Poland and in all around Europe. And UNEP stands for UN Environment Program. We celebrate 50 years of UNEP activities. And that is why we wanted to promote this IOP as an activity supporting some of the UNEP's initiative. UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration is one of the activities which are pretty important for us. It was launched in 2021 and is focused on ecosystem restoration. What does it mean? This restoration means not only the recovery of the ecosystems which are destroyed or degraded, but it also put emphasis on those which are still intact, but they need our care to be in a good condition. Why it's so important? Well, restoring ecosystems, large and small, helps to protect and improves the quality of people's life. Ecosystem and nature, it helps to regulate diseases, to reduce the risk of natural disaster. Ecosystems provide so-called ecosystem services. Thanks to the nature, we have food, clean air, clean water, we have fuel, we have shelters, our houses, and so on. And through ecosystem restoration, we help to achieve all the SDGs, all the 17 SDGs, and those goals are the kind of agenda for us. What we need to focus on to be sure that our future is more sustainable, greener, and safer for us. And GLOBE community is contributing to ecosystem restoration and achievement of the SDGs. So all the activities which are implemented on the international level, for example, by UNEP, not only through activities such as IOP, but in everyday work. When you work with GLOBE bundle protocols to get to know environmental challenges, you also get to know the actual state of the ecosystems. And you help to find those who need to be taken care of. And through continuous data collection and the research project, you can help to observe and monitor the state of the ecosystem, the state of the environment. So if the restoration activities are undertaken, you can try to estimate the effectiveness. Is the quality of the environment better or still not as good as we want it? If not, then you can also become the active participant of the restoration activities on your local level. For example, if there is a lake with not very good water quality, you can try to talk to the nature conservation services, maybe to the local government and to the local community, and try to find the way on how to improve the quality of this water and how to make this local lake ecosystem alive again. So as you can see, the GLOBE community activities and activities undertaken by members of the GLOBE community and at the international level by organizations such as UN and UNEP, they are in line. All those efforts should be put together to make sure that our future is more sustainable, greener, and simply better for us, because we have only one Earth, and we all should work to be sure that this one Earth is safe. Thank you.
All right, so you can see there that, one of our goals here with this IOP is not just to have people out collecting the data, but to form additional collaborations, form extensions of the data, where it makes sense in the real world. And that's one of the things. And I know that's what we try to do with a lot of the Globe challenges that we do. For instance, right now, starting today, running through 26 August, is the NASA Globe Land Cover Challenge 2022, Land Cover in a Changing Climate. So I wanted to remind all of you of that. You've probably seen it on the Observer site and the Globe, home-based landing site. There's a link down there to it. And my last slide is here some links that talk about some of the things that I mentioned and that Ella talked about, and our contact information. So thank you, and I will stop sharing.
So Brian, thank you. I just wanted to mention that there are links to Globe information, the website and data from the UNEP Situation Room. And I think Ella's going to be putting together storyboards on this activity that she will put into the Situation Room as well. And once that's done, UNEP will advertise it to their community, and we'll do the same from here. So this was a wonderful collaboration. And it's an instance where Ella reached out to us to form this activity. So just wanted to highlight that. So before we go into the breakout rooms, Nick is going to take a screenshot of the photos of everyone participating here. So Nick, over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So if everyone wants to just turn on their camera, and then we can take a quick group shot, so we can just capture this wonderful meeting that we've been having. And then I can just count down in case you want to do a cheese or a smile or a pose or whatever. So we'll do it in 3, 2, 1. I think I got it. Sometimes the screenshot takes a while. All right, great. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Good. Thank you, Nick. So thank you, everybody, for your wonderful presentations today. They were really great, and I think they're going to form the basis of some excellent discussions. So I want to now turn it over to Jen to lead us through the next part of this session.
All right. It's good to see everybody's faces. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to go into the breakout sessions. And what that means is we will have time to talk about those different presentations. We will essentially make sure I did not, it'll just take me a minute in order to make those breakout rooms. So what we'll do is we will label them with the session, and then you'll be able to go into that breakout room and talk to the presenters there. We're going to divide this up into 2 pieces so that you can be in one session for about 20 minutes, and then you can be in another session for about 20 minutes. Actually, it'd probably be more like 15 and 15. And if you look at the Padlet, you'll see that on the Padlet, there are just some prompts to get you started. So if you look at those prompts,
could you possibly share that link again?
Yes, I will.
It said
share
way at the
link
top
again.
of the page, and there it is.
Yep, there you go. So the Padlet itself has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns, and those are for each of the different sessions that we had, the presenters. And I'm going to let you choose the room that you will be in, and we will rename these rooms so that they say what is happening there. And I see other people have already started by putting their name and contact information, so that's great. The first one is who's here and interested in that topic. And that's just so that we can have, the presenters can have a record of who they've been talking to, et cetera, because a lot of times we'll get done with a Globe meeting or a Globe session and who was that again? So we are gonna have that be part of it. And then we want to encourage you, as this is a collaboration session, to think about what are the things that I need to do in order to move this forward for me and for the people I work with. And then what does the community need? So if there's things that we need or that you didn't know, and also resources. So for instance, if one of the things you need is the phonology website, we can also put that under resources. So it's kind of a way to identify what we need to move this forward, and then also provide resources in case we need those too. So the presenters can add in any of those links that they had in their presentations, etc. So that's basically what we're going to start with. I also just want to encourage you, and I was thinking about this a lot this morning. Last time we did this, some rooms there were only a couple people in them. So I just want to encourage you that if there's only a couple people in that room, to combine with another room, because we are going to have a second part or a second session. So a lot of people may have in their minds, I want to go to these two particular sessions and have a discussion. And so they go to the one, and then they go to the second one in the second half. So we want to make sure we have at least people in coming to your session. We don't want you sitting there alone, waiting for people to come, with the understanding that people need to choose, right? So we have 6 sessions. People need to choose. They definitely want to talk to you, but they might have their priorities. And so we want to make sure we have the 2 sessions and that they're well attended and everybody can have a great discussion. So if you're sitting in the room and there's only 2 of you, you may want to say, let's go to a different session right now. And then I'll be back here in the second half, and then we can have a better conversation with more people in the room. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm spinning my wheels a little bit, but we just want to make sure that everyone has a good discussion. Eric, you had a question?
Yes, I had a quick question.
Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, more like the logistics of, I guess you guys are going to send us to our breakout rooms, and will the presenter have is the host, I guess you can share slides, or you can, I mean, I know it's just for discussion.
Yep,
and
so
then,
you should be able to share slides.
okay, all right. And then, so I'm staying in that same room in chunks of 20 minutes or for 40 minutes total, or?
What we'll do is we'll go for 15, and then I'll call everybody back.
Okay.
And then we'll have a waterfall chat, which is a new thing that I learned, and I think it's great. And then we'll go for another 15 and then call everybody back for another waterfall chat.
Great, thank you.
So let's see, what am I missing? I'm missing, help me out. Alumni.
I'm getting a message on
to,
my screen that says Alice Liu requests that live transcription be enabled for the meeting. I don't know if I'm the host, sorry. Do I click enable? Decline and don't ask again, decline, enable?
we do not want to use the live captioning. Nick, could you stick that link up there for the captioning that's on the Globe website?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So I opened all the rooms. You can self-select where you would like to go, but we would like our presenters to go to the room where they presented. And then after that, we can help you and assign you and send you somewhere else. So we're going to spend about 15 minutes in those rooms, and then we'll call you back. And there'll be a 60-second warning. Yes, Elena, was that you?
Yes, I don't know how to enter the room. I can't
see.
So If you go down to the
Oh, you
bottom of the
scroll,
screen,
okay.
it says Breakout Rooms.
Right? I clicked on it.
So if
And
you
then-
click on more, then it says join breakout room.
Right.
Is that
and
what you do? Yeah.
but I only see room 6. Is that
Oh,
the
okay.
Globe Alumni?
I did rename the rooms.
Is mine
they
I see the
all-
alumni at the bottom.
Alumni's at the bottom, Elena.
I know, but I
You
don't
s-
even see any.
So just scroll
Oh,
down.
I
list
see,
all
I
the
see.
names.
I see it now.
Yes.
Yes, thanks.
And the one that I'm doing is sit side lack.
No, your biometry.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
And if anybody needs help getting into their room, please let me know and I can assign you.
Oh, I need to get a sign.
Where would you like to go?
I'd like to go to microplastics right now.
So that's Bo. It should have come up, Bo, that you want to go to a room. Okay.
I need to be assigned to Marina.
Marina. Okay, where do you want to go?
I want to go to plastics.
Let's see. Is this Marina Public?
Yes,
Okay, microplastics.
yes.
Hi, Jenny. I wanted to be at a biometric protocol.
Okay, Marta. There you are. The biometry, right? Eric's.
Yes, biometry.
Okay. There we go. Can I help anybody else get where they're needing to go?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Hello, excuse me. I want to join the microplastic room, breakout room, but I don't know how to go there.
Okay,
If
I'm gonna.
you can-
Yes, I can help you. Here you go.
Thank
It
you.
should come up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, excuse me. I also would like to go to the microplastic room, but I cannot find the way to go there, please.
Okay, and what's your name?
My name is Alice Liu.
Alice Liu. Got it. Microplastics. You should have an
Thank you.
invitation.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi. Can you help me to get in the biometry?
Yes. And what's your name?
Ghadir. I write it in the Padlet. Can I get it? Or can I get on?
Let's biometry. Did you get an
Yes.
invitation? Okay.
No, not yet.
Oh.
I write, can I get in?
So if you go down to breakouts, on the bottom of your screen, it should say breakout rooms or more.
There is only a sign for plus. That's it. That's what appeared. The 6 lines or the 6 groups, and under each one there is a plus sign.
Yeah, so if you open that plus sign, and on the right hand side, it should say a blue button with join.
No, it show me write a subject, then publish, and choose the Padlet background, something like that.
So you're in the Padlet?
Yes, I am the Padlet.
Okay, so where you want to be is you want to be in
Biometry protocols.
Right, but go to Zoom so that you see us.
Zoom. Okay.
And then on the bottom, it'll say breakout rooms.
The buttons.
And are you there?
No, there isn't.
Is there 3 dots that say more?
Yes, there is it.
Okay, so hit the 3 dots and one of them should say breakout rooms.
No, it's showing for me chat, request live, meeting setting, background, discount audio, disconnect. And there is another one here. No, it's not appear for me.
Okay.
Which room are you trying to join again?
The biometry. Biometry
Is
protocol.
this, let me try one.
Yes, now someone give me.
Yeah, that does work.
Jen or Nick or someone else. Sorry, I'm continuing to have technical difficulties. I got kicked out of Zoom a few times. I'm looking at the breakout right now, and it looks like the citizen science group has nobody. Is that?
Yeah, I think I saw that there was one before, which was probably Anna, but she may have gone ahead and moved. We told people if the room wasn't crowded, they should move to another room and then come back.
I see. Okay. Okay.
So I think that's what happened. I'm kind of monitoring them to see where, who has what.
I see. Maybe I'll go to alumni one since they seem very lonely.
Yeah, that's yeah, I was thinking that's good.
All right. See you later.
Okay. Bye, Amy.
All right. We have a couple. Yeah.
Could you please help join the microplastics?
You want to go to my, is that
Please.
Beatrice?
Yes.
All right, microplastics. There we go.
Well, I'm going to go ahead to alumni and I'll see you later.
Okay.
Somewhere out there.
Sounds good. What time do we start this, Nick? Was it?
That's the breakout rooms.
Yes.
I think we started them around 8:25 or so.
All right. I just want to keep aware of time. And we have till 11.
Should we stop the main recording at this point?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
It's going to be.
I don't need to be recorded.
30 minutes of us twiddling our thumbs.